my slam time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my slam time. Gonna mess up your whole mind. This is my slam time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my slam time. Gonna mess up your whole mind.
Welcome to Work the Left Side. This is a True Grit special episode. I am joined by the one, the only Dan from Dan's Cans if you're in York, or just awesomeness that is Dan if you're at Left Bank. How are you doing, mate?
I'm feeling a lot better than I was yesterday after a bit of a session at True Grit, but what a night.
Dude, that's it, mate. If there's ever any reason to have a few drinks, or just blame it on the wrestling, just be like, you know what, I was kind of sober until that main event, and then obviously we got the good stuff. I had to celebrate. You had to celebrate. You had to have a drink.
I blame Sam Rogers. That's all I'm saying. He suggested meeting up a bit too early, but yeah, it was. I think I described it on Twitter as one of the most emotionally charged shows that True Grit have put on. And I stand by that because it was a roller coaster.
Dude, so well done though as well. I mean, obviously, we'll get into it, and it's just, but that's what they've been doing so well for me at the minute. They're telling, it's like, I know there was a few people at Left Bank. Jay was there. My other half, because she always goes to the York shows. Then I was like, want to go to the Leeds ones? She's like, no, it's fine. I'm quite happy to go to the York ones. She loves the York shows. They're awesome. But after the last York show, it was like, right, I'm coming with you to the next Leeds one. Why? Because I need to know what happens next.
Kemper in chains.
that pretty much. Well, Cutie McTootie with chains for her. Not so much Kemper.
Fair enough.
Karma rewarded her. She got Cutie McTootie in a shark cage. So that was her good deed for the day. The only person
definitely wasn't a reaper for a stripper cage.
That made me laugh. You see JT's post yesterday morning. He's like, yeah. I'm just at church to pick up a stripper cage. My life is weird.
Well, that's just wrestling, isn't it? That's exactly what it is. But yeah, Riley Nova, he's very easy to hate, isn't he?
He is, until I was having this conversation with Nikki, and at some point, again, fantasy booking, you can kind of, I'd love to see him go like on the equivalent of like a legend killer kind of thing. You can kind of see him doing something like that at some point, snapping, or the fans start to appreciate. They're just kind of like, you know what, he is that good. He is a heel, but it's that Randy Orton effect where you just kind of like, I'm going to cheer him anyway because appreciate. And then, say if he turns face and then he just turns on Brady, or then he just takes out like Inserico, James Mason, or Dom. Yeah, he just goes on this crazy lazy legend killer spree or something.
Yeah, well, we do appreciate talent at True Grit. But you're saying about sort of it's kind of been an uptick of like storytelling and just True Grit really do have lightning in a bottle at the minute. JC doesn't pay me, so I'm saying that off my own back. Because I fell in love with True Grit going to shows as far back as 2017, 2018, and there were always great shows, and there was the odd story time bits together here and there. But since they've come back after the pandemic, it just hit a whole new level. And I absolutely love seeing it. I really do. It's, especially when it's in my hometown and my old school for the York shows. It is just unreal.
That's crazy. That still blows my mind. It must be really weird for you selling alcohol in your school. You're like, hee.
Just wait till it's on Triller next month.
Oh, mate, that's. we need to talk about that because I'm so hyped for that, but I'm also, I've got an underlining concern about it as well, which we'll talk about after we talked about the actual show. Because I don't know, it's like me, I hate being negative, and I don't want to neg on anything. But obviously, I'll talk about it now because otherwise, that's going to be hanging over the entire episode for anybody that people that are watching. I'm so hyped for them to get on Triller. I think it's amazing. I know they've worked so hard to do it. My only concern is, will people now not go to the live shows because they can watch it on Triller for £6.50?
It's a riskier run, but
yeah. Oh, I know.
Honest, I think seeing the atmosphere and being there live, there really is nothing like it. Like, I watched it back last night and a bit earlier today, and it never quite hits the same as actually being there. So if people will be there, like you get a good regular crowd at True Grit, both in York and Leeds. I'd like to see a few more at York. You know, come on guys, make the journey. It's a laugh. 3 cans for a 10, can't go wrong. But yeah, I don't think it's going to give people all across the country a chance to see what it's all about, and all over the world. I've got mates up and down the country. A few of them came to the January show in York, because we have an annual Rumble meet-up. Came from as far north as Glasgow, as far south as Bristol. And there was a few in between who couldn't make it. Those lads, after hearing about the show through us in the group chats, got to watch on Triller. And actually finally see what I've been banging on about for so long. So it's a positive, just the sheer amount of exposure you can get. And if people do latch on and realise the quality that True Grit are putting out, because for me, again, I'm not paid to say this, I don't actually make any money working the bar or anything like that. They are putting out one of the best products in the country. There's not many other promotions doing show storytelling with the quality of matches. It just isn't.
No, I agree. And like I said, that what I've said about Triller and people that's an underlining. That's the only kind of if I was to pick something to be like a little. So I think I don't know. Somebody mentioned. I think somebody put it in my head about because it had a bit of a knock-on effect maybe at TNT or something like that. And yeah, I just don't want the same thing to sort of happen. But I'm with you.
It's a valid concern.
Yeah, the live. I would always encourage anyone to go watch a show live and then rewatch it on Triller, kind of thing. That's the cheeky bonus. Now you can do that, or it's just. But yeah, always go see it live if you get a chance. If you're in Leeds, Triller's great for people who can't get to the venue or can't get to the show. But if you can get to a show, do it. There's nothing like it. We both know. We'll bang this drum till we're fucking 6 feet under.
Yeah, it might be a bit of a insert non-PG word here at the minute. If JC may be so far up his own backside he can see the back of his own teeth, but he's putting out a hell of a product, and you really can't argue with him as a businessman.
Oh God, no, that's it. I mean, knowing, like I said, the year in work it's taken to get to where he is now, kind of thing. The amount of effort, the graft, then the obligatory tip my hat. This is actually, what, I kind of feel like we're being too nice to JC at the minute, because at some point we're going to turn, because we need to talk about that match. So
we do, and I did have to go on strike because the unsafe working environment that it was putting us all in. And guess what? Don Black did what he did at the January show, and it was Nathan Black's go to have a little shove off me this time around. But lucky he's only a small lad, and I'm a big lump, so I didn't go very far, and I didn't spill my beer, so all's good.
Joe, can you imagine? If you just spilled the beer, mate, I think that would have been.
I'd have been getting in with Paul. Double TV.
No DQ, mate. You would have been allowed. Nobody could have stopped you. But there we go.
And we need to talk about that match as well. Talk about an emotional roller coaster. Yeah, but shall we start at the start?
Yes. Let's start with the Pride Championship. The Big Daddy Unicorn, Jason Joshua against Adam Bolt, with Jackie T looking very dapper in his pink waistcoat.
Definitely didn't try and get a "you're just a shit John Virgo" chant started.
It did not work though.
It didn't work. It didn't take. Jackie T just looked too good. I did appreciate him matching his waistcoat to the Pride Championship leather as well.
Yeah.
But just Adam Bolt. Like, we'll start with the champ. Adam Bolt's somebody who I saw, I think, quite early on in his career. And I hold my hands up. Didn't really know what to make of him as a performer, because, like I said, it was only early on, so he hadn't really found himself yet, I don't think. But to see where he started, I think it was on like a Phoenix event in a working men's club in Sheffield somewhere.
Probably, yeah.
And to see where he is now and just unreal transformation, he's one of the most exciting prospects on the British scene today, for my money. Absolutely love his work. He's one of those. You want to hate him, but you have to appreciate him because he does what his music says. He makes it look good.
Yeah.
And I'm just so happy to see Big Daddy Unicorn back. I've been clamouring for Jason Joshua to come back since his debut at the True Grit Games last year, and they did not disappoint.
Ditto. Again, anybody who follows me on socials, especially on X, or even if you watched last week's review or the hype episode for this redemption, I said both of these guys are amazing. Both of these guys are awesome. They're very good at what they've got. Very cool contrasting styles. Obviously, Big Daddy Unicorn, man, he's buff. He's got his muscle. He's just like he can throw Adam Bolt around, but that suits Adam Bolt. He's that kind of. Again, I'm not making comparisons. I'm not saying he's the next Ziggler or he's the next Mike or something like. He's not the next anything. He's Adam Bolt. Yeah. But if you don't know, if you've never seen him and you need a comparison, this is why I do it. He reminds me of like a Ziggler or a Michaels, where he can sell for the strong guy. He can sell for the bigger opponent kind of thing. He makes himself look good. He makes them look freaking amazing. It just makes for a very entertaining, awesome match. And both of these guys just, I'll go on the record. There wasn't a bad match on this card before anybody thinks. No. We're going to hype up every match. Every match was awesome.
Yeah, we are. Just cards on the table. If you didn't already know, we'll be looking at it as fans first. But yeah, I've got a couple of clips that have yet to make the socials. But Adam Bolt hit one of the just most beautiful, crispest second rope moonsaults. And Big Daddy Unicorn was flying around as well. Went up top, went from middle rope and everything. Just but we said about Bolt, he's pardon the pun, he's lightning. He's so quick, it's unreal. But he doesn't. Some people can go almost too quick and leave. I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit old man yells at cloud, but when things are too fast, I can't process what's going on. We just you're bouncing around. You're thinking, what? Hey,
That's it. He takes like that extra second in between, to sell a move, to tell a story. He reacts. It's not just about doing, like you say, moving from this to this. He'll do that, but his timing is spot on. He times it perfectly, and he lets you appreciate what's just happened before the next moment comes.
And there's that undertone of viciousness as well.
Yeah.
Which I like. And obviously, you've always got the threat of Jackie T outside with his baton and all that. But
right, Nikki, let's just call it out here. Right, Nikki passed the baton to Jackie T at the end of that match. No, I'm just putting it out there. Maybe. So that's I think there's a
Nikki.
You know what I mean? She's lovable. She comes across as being all she's all lovable and stuff. She's awesome. But she passed the baton to Jackie T.
Ooh. Oh dear. I would say we'll have to have words, but you can't bollock Nikki, can you? Really, she's too nice. And Pursuit Pro Wrestling's best announcer. I had the privilege of being up there a couple of weeks ago and seeing Nikki do a thing.
Oh, really?
Pursuit. Yeah. It was great to see. Love Nikki, love her to bits all the time in the world. For just stop handing Jackie T weapons.
Being too nice. I see. It wasn't done out of malicious. It wasn't done. It was just here we go. I know you want this. I'll pass it to you. Not being nice.
My main question is now then, what next for Bolt and Joshua? Because first word that comes to my mind is rematch. Give us a best of 7.
Randy Marsh, ectoplasm, ball.
It was just a spooky ghost.
Oh mate, can you imagine though, like different stipulations as well though, but one of them's got to be Jackie T in a shark tank or on a pole or something.
A shark tank. It's a bit far.
Sorry,
put that cage to good use, yeah. But yeah, no DQ. You could even cross the divisions, pure grit rules match.
Ooh. dude. But yeah, I hope it's not the last time. I'm obviously Adam's got to be back. He's champ. But hopefully, Jason comes back as well. He deserves to be. I want to see him on a more regular basis there. I think that'd be kind of very, very cool. I also kind of want to sort of see, again, some storylines maybe being put into the Pride division, maybe sort of build.
We've got Drake and Priscilla in the background. Yes, we've not seen anything. We didn't see anything in February. Sorry, I said January before. I didn't see anything in the February show. But Drake and Priscilla had another run in the Rumble. So I wouldn't be at all surprised to see something happen in April. Yeah. I have no prior knowledge.
No, neither of us have. We are just saying this as fans. We are talking.
We will fall into the fantasy booking black hole way too often.
That's it. But I'll go on record and say this now. If somebody wants to clip this and send it to HD Drake as a pre-match thing, right? If you break Priscilla's nails, get the fuck out of the ring. That's all you got. Just walk away. It's fine. Don't let her hold up. Don't let her slap you. Just get out of the ring until she's mellowed. It's all good.
You think people would learn by now, wouldn't you?
You would really, but caught in the moment, I suppose. Hindsight, adrenaline. I don't know. But yeah, first match. This is how you introduce the Triller audience to True Grit. This is the first impression. This is somebody who's put it on, never seen True Grit before. What's it all about? Two amazing competitors doing what they do.
And I'll be honest, Adam Bolt said about the Pride Championship far better than any of us ever could. Just go check his Twitter for the full thoughts on the importance of the Pride division and the Pride Championship. Adam's words will be more powerful than anything we could ever say.
Yes, of course, definitely. They're his words to be spoken, and go appreciate. I love Adam. I think Adam's amazing. He's just, since he's found himself and his character, and he's just flying. The momentum's going. He knows what he's doing. He's comfortable. Confidence is through the roof. Yeah,
you love to see it.
Definitely. So next,
I was just looking at the time. We should probably start rattling through some of this because you normally like to do about an hour, don't you?
Right. So I'm trying to think what was after this one. After this,
Billy O'Keefe and Mega Calibre.
Mega Calibre, yes. Again, how do you follow Jason Joshua and Adam Bolt? You have the standout that is Billy O'Keefe and a debuting Lucha and one Mega Calibre who we've
definitely never seen before.
Nope. I'm sure he may have been off spray painting war somewhere before the match, but he was there. He was looking boss. Obviously, if you know who Mega Calibre is, you will know of my appreciation. I've never got anything but nice things to say about this dude. I think he's awesome. If I ever start a promotion, he would be one of the first people whose brains I would pick. But yeah, the match itself, again, I love Billy O'Keefe. Billy O'Keefe is going to be main event in True Grit for me in 2 or 3 years.
It's the transformation from El Bilzo and sort of taking the piss out of Sean Only. He may or may not have been El Bilzo. We don't know for certain, but we assume he is. He's off. I think he's off running an orphanage in Garforth now. El Bilzo. That quick transition from Bilzo and a bit of a comedy character getting one over on one of the best natural heels in British wrestling to now, like, Billy O'Keefe is in the Riley Nova category for me.
Yes.
In terms of young up-and-coming talent who've got the look, they've got the chops as far as a fan's eyes in the ring. But whereas Riley is obviously with Brady and just comes across a bit of a smug dick, Billy seems a really nice bloke.
Yeah.
What was that you're holding up there?
I was just going Riley Nova comes across as a little bit of a brick, just
a little bit. Billy O'Keefe, he's called the standout. He's stood out so far. 2 matches, Young Horace and now Mega Calibre. He's doing what Chad Gable can't do.
2 matches, but it's Wiley Nova. Sammy Blue took on Horace.
Oh, what was? Sorry, yeah.
Billy Wiley.
That was a banger, yeah. How did I get that mixed up? It's the Masks and the Sean Only connection. And not at all to do with excessive alcohol consumption. Yeah, all that is very roundabout way of saying, keep an eye on Billy O'Keefe. He's going to be mega.
Going to be awesome. Yeah, definitely. Again, massive mark for Billy. I think you guys are awesome. And Mega Calibre, man, I was just hyped to see. It's been a while. I say it's not been a while because I think Bilzo did it as well. But you know, I'm an old school fan. I remember going to wrestling shows and it being weird if we didn't chant C at any point during a show.
Yeah.
But you know,
because somebody had a mask on, yeah.
Yeah, they are. But it's back. You know, Mega Calibre starting the C's. And I liked it, you know. I thought it worked. It gave Billy time to shine, you know. Calibre worked smooth, you know. These two guys have got chemistry. Again, if you know who they are, they've worked together loads of times. If you know Blackheart, you know as well. It's just, yeah, I love this match.
But it gives Billy the chance to show out and stand out. But it gives Mega Calibre a bit more license to do things that he maybe doesn't feel he should do in his other persona.
Yeah,
if you like. I mean, the other persona is brilliant, big fan. But Mega Calibre, you put that mask on, you've got a fresh start. And he's ridiculously athletic, and the things he can do defy physics sometimes. And it was just good that he got a chance to show that off.
Exactly, I agreed. Again, love this match. Looking forward to see what hopefully Mega Calibre comes back. You know,
Mega Calibre, Young Horace, Lucha Tag Team.
Oh,
and then we can go Lucha.
But so, you know, on a totally unrelated topic, you know, we get to see Ellis Parker in a Pure Rules match again at some point because, you know, Ellis is part of the Pure League as well.
Yeah, well, this is one thing. This is one thing I need to have a word about. It's been a while since we've had a Pure Grit Rules match, and we haven't seen a league table in quite some time, because the last one I remember was Ian Skinner in York getting the knockout.
Yes, Ellis Parker, yeah.
Yeah, against Ellis, and that must have been December? Or was it October?
It was December. Definitely December. Because
I was a bit out of it on that show.
In November by Lou Nixon. This was the
that was it. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, that December show was the one where I'd woken up in Germany and come back and work the show. I was a bit sleepy that day. I'm not a smart man.
Yeah, well, we love it anyway. But yeah, so 2 thumbs up. You know, Calibre, Sam, I was about to call him Sammy. I keep getting Billy. Anything Billy's associated with, I can always get the name wrong. You know, it's not the Fun Time Mafia, it's the Playtime Mafia. You know, it's not Biceps, so I won't say it.
You keep saying you're going to leave that nickname in the past, but you keep bringing it up.
Just tease it. Like, ooh. But you know, but yeah, love this match. But then after this one, this was when it was going to get emotional.
The first part of the emotional roller coaster, because I've said this privately to both you and Paul, and we like to mix up a bit of kayfabe on Work the Left Side, don't we? There's wrestlers out there who've been doing this a long time who wish they could blur the lines like Paul did and you did when you had that sit down and leading up to this match, because this is one of those stories where Paul, you know, Nathan's gone after Paul for no reason other than Nathan's a prick. Yeah. And it's just spiraled. You know, got NRG involved. Great to see NRG in a True Grit ring, by the way, even if they were doing Nathan's dirty work. Strange seeing him heel after seeing him face so often at Planet. Shout out Planet, by the way. But yeah, and then the Maven elimination at the Rumble, everything with with Paul's kids and wife and the struggles his kids have had, and how True Grit's helped them, and just as a family how they've sort of become, you're always close to your family, especially your kids, but just brought them close together and then brought the lads out of the shells. That's just magic.
It's just, and that's the power of True Grit. That's the power of wrestling. That's the power of the friendship with Wes and stuff. I've talked to Paul loads about it. Kind of thinking that we are going to be doing an episode in a few weeks with Paul, and it's going to be a curtains back. It's not going to be a kayfabe one this time.
Yeah.
We're going to talk,
Can't
about
wait.
to it, and the stories behind it. But yeah, it's stuff like that we'll talk about. But yeah, I will say, wrestling has had such a positive impact, on the kids, on Thomas, on Robbie, and on, just as a whole, the people that see him at shows as well, it cheers me up, it makes me smile, I love seeing like freaking Tony and, probably just high-fiving all shows, like, yeah, he's just stood there in front of Tony, like, ah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, Tony was supposed to be somewhere else on Saturday, but he made the late decision to come to True Grit instead, and he brought his brother and his sister-in-law. And this is one thing that's been wonderful, and across the York shows and across the Leeds shows, True Grit really has got that sense of community. And there was always a couple of regulars who you'd see, or you'd have your own little group of mates, and you think, oh yeah, that's such and such with their group of mates. But now it feels properly like somewhere where you can just float around, say, I'll stand with you for a little bit, and then Chris Holt will come over, and then I'll go and chat to Tony, or then and do whatever. And Paul's obviously a big part of that, because, like you say, when the kids are rocking around, give them a quick high five, ask them how they're doing, and then they go sit down.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say as well, it again, peeling back the curtain a little bit, it was a great amount of faith shown in Paul by JC to put him on the card, but then it's a magnificent effort by Paul to live up to it, because this shit ain't easy. If it was, everybody'd do it. I couldn't do it.
Have you seen Paul? Have you seen Paul after the match? He's got a black eye and a torn shoulder.
Which is nuts. And it's legit all to make his kids proud. Imagine his kids in years to come are going to look back on that and think, quite rightly, that they've got the coolest dad ever.
I said it before, and I will say it again. That is parenting done right.
Yeah. But this match, if we actually go on the match for a second instead of the emotions behind it, Paul took an absolute shit kicking.
Yeah.
It was. But he won.
I'll just jump to the thing. He was the first person I know of. You might correct me. I want to mention this one. Think about it in case I'm wrong. But he's the first person to jump off that whatever the hell you want to call it.
Like the pulpit thing.
Yeah, the preachy pit. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I don't remember anyone jumping off that before.
Now you say it, I'm sure it must have happened at some point, but I can't think of any time it's been done. And the worst part about it is he missed Nathan Black.
Poor Ian Creed.
Nathan, little snake that he is, slunk off round the corner, let Ian Creed and poor Sky and the other ring crew take the brunt. But yeah, that was a cool moment. Just all the weapons. Paul coming out with doing the Cactus Jack with the bin, the metal bin full of weapons. But I didn't see this at the time because of where I was stood. The absolute best moment in this match was, prefix of saying this isn't the best moment, but when Nathan shoved Rebecca and put her on her backside, I think it was Robbie, 4 years old, grabbed the kendo stick and was ready to absolutely twat Nathan. That kid was ready to fight. It was so good.
Yeah.
And I don't think that little lad knows fully what he's done. Poor kid's just seen his mum get shoved over.
He reacted exactly.
He's immediately gone for the stick.
It's just, I popped huge for that. But I'll shout out the cup as well, because that was clever. That's kind of reminded me of the Bret Hart with the steel tray when Goldberg went to spear him. It's always the
Joe Hendry did that. Joe Hendry did that recently. Well, I said recently, within the last sort of 6 months or so. But he had his own face on the cup. like well before he was champion. But then even that came back into play later on. Paul hit Nathan with the cup, and then later on, Nathan's got the cup and he's suffocating Paul on the smell of his own balls.
It's just me.
It's not every day. It's not every day you see that.
No, it's just there's mean, and then there's just really mean, and Nathan is really mean. But the bit where you get sellotape to the ropes as well, and I love.
Oh yeah.
You know, the whole fact it was no DQ. You know, I've expressed my thoughts on this before, and it worked. You know, I was a bit like JC being the one that announced it. I know why. But I kind of like the twist now where it's come back and bit JC on the arse, the fact that he made it no DQ. And it's because it was a no DQ that Nathan lost. So obviously his family and were able to help Paul.
Yeah, piling on the pin was just beautiful. But yeah, it's a good hardcore match, no DQ match. There's a lot of weapons involved, even had a little stop sign and whatnot. But of them all, the best sounding one was the wet floor sign.
Yeah.
Because it just makes such a good crack. But yeah, and something completely different to anything else on the card.
Yeah.
As well. And this is one thing, True Grit's always been a variety show. Always had a bit of something for everybody. And this is just another example of that. It was really, really bloody good.
Yeah, and kudos, you know, we'd be amiss, you know, we've talked about how hard Paul's worked and how good Paul has been in all of this. Nathan has gone above and beyond. You know, Nathan is, for me, one of the best heels in this country. You know, there's a lot of good heels out there, but for me, you know, I would quite happily cheer some of those heels, which I shouldn't want to do. Like we said before, you know, we appreciate, like the Brady Phillips is boss. But he was starting to get his cheers at times and stuff like that. So he's not an out-and-out heel. Whereas Nathan, nobody wants to cheer Nathan. It's not because he's not good. Nathan's great at what he does, but he's just greater.
It's flat.
Yeah, he's greater at being a twat.
So I've been thinking about this, and I've seen Nathan, sort of behind the scenes Nathan, who people may not believe me, but absolutely lovely bloke, really is. But the Nathan you see on screen is just the switch flicks, and you know, even the way everything about him is designed to raise your hackles and just make you just go, will you just shut the fuck up? But not in a way that you want him to go away, in a way that you just want to see him get battered. And it's riding that line. He really does do some of the best character work while also being an exceptional physical specimen. He's not as big as he thinks he is, but that's all the more he's in. Even the way, like I said, the way he manipulates his voice, so he goes all nasally. Look at the size of me. He just, it's nails on a chalkboard. I'm sorry to drop that in without warning.
I did that before. I was like,
yeah.
But no, we'll definitely be amiss if we didn't big up Nathan. Nathan is amazing. Like I said, one of the best heels.
Well, it doesn't work without him, does it?
No. Oh no, God, no, definitely not. That's why, you know, this was such an amalgamation of all the moving parts, all the gears, everything just fit together perfectly. You needed, I said it before, a story is only as good as its bad guy, and this story had one of the best bad guys ever, and it just made the hero so much more heroic.
Yeah, but I would like to see now Nathan move on to somebody else, somewhere else. Sorry, not somewhere else, but he needs to go after a baby face. He needs to go after somebody who's naturally beloved. He might need a tag team partner. I don't know who that could be. I don't have any ideas off the top of my head because I'm just thinking of this now. But the biggest baby faces in the company were in the main event.
Yeah.
And the biggest baby faces need the biggest heel.
What if Nathan worked as a manager, brought back NRG, you had an NRG versus NashBoat, but Nathan standing, like, doing the DiBiase kind of thing, standing just on
I could see that. The regime could lend him Riley Nova.
Ooh. Oh my God, two of the most punchable faces. Jeez. wept.
We're getting into fantasy booking again.
Talking of the regime.
That was just off the top of my head.
I nearly said it. Talking of the regime. Still don't sound right. But yes, it was obviously the first half's main event, I like to call it now, because the show that sends us to the intermission. The first half main event. It was obviously Team JC versus Team Wes. Again, more emotion. This pulled the strings, man. There were 3 emotional matches on this card, and this was the second.
And we had 2 back-to-back, which is amazing. So this was, I did my little prediction league on the Discord, which I've not looked at the results yet, so I don't know who's won because I was a write-off yesterday. But the result of this match for me hinged on what the main event would be, just from a logical standpoint and whatever. But there wasn't. I didn't foresee an outcome where both matches would go the way I wanted them to. Not really. I went with my heart over my head. I think I can't remember what I actually predicted, but yeah. Anyway, you've got 4 people. We talk about top heels. JC I've known for a good long while now. I used to be on the Boris bus up to North when he was the Boris Kozlov character and stuff like that. This side of him, well, I'm glad they went for that pose over the other one they were doing, because the other one they were thinking of doing was not great. I'll tell you about that off air. It was nothing offensive. It just looked a bit silly. But yeah, JC is just so good at being a dick.
Yeah.
You couple him with Sash.
The 3rd most punchable face in True Grit.
Well, he came into the match with a black eye, didn't he?
I'm not surprised. Probably said hi to someone. I was like, nah, mate.
Probably just Franco on reflex.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I wouldn't mess with either Franco or Brad Matthews, to be honest.
I still have a recording of you expressing an opinion of a tattoo that I may hold for blackmailing purposes.
I don't remember that. I'm kind of glad I don't know, because I've got plausible deniability. Oh, God. Yeah, we'll talk about that off air as well. But yeah, they're a gaggle of bastards, and they're up against 4 consummate baby faces. Like, I've seen. I remember Jake when he still had his American accent way back when, before he grew up and got himself a really good tag team partner. But I love those 2. Oh, sorry, this is going to be a weird side note. Hasn't Jake got lovely hair?
Yes.
Luscious.
Not as nice as Sammy Blues, but it's close.
It's not far off. But this really was a classic good versus evil story. Joey Slade, the young man who was humiliated, NashBoat, first ever tag champs who you can't help but love, and Wes, who was the face of the company. It really was. Gladiators. I've never been in a wrestling crowd that could ever hate Wes. I don't think as hard as he tried. The dude just exudes sound, like just being sound.
Yes, that's it. That's perfect. Exudes sound.
I realised when I said that. I didn't mean he's loud.
No, just sound.
Yeah. But going down 3 straight eliminations as well.
Good. I called it, to be fair, though. I did say it was going to end up being 4-1-1.
Yeah.
I want to give Wes that kind of shine and just be like, kind of. But it gets the fans as well. I've seen enough Survivor Series to know, that's the best way to get the audience behind the main baby.
Yeah.
What Wes is, like you said, he was the face of the company. We want to be rooting for Wes. We want that sort of turmoil. We want that. Oh crap! It's 1 against 4. But
see, at that point, because we're old heads and we've seen a lot of wrestling, it was at that point where I was allowing myself to believe. I was like, maybe he's going to win it.
Yep.
Maybe he's going to win it. Wes is going to win it. And then he takes out. Who did he eliminate first? Was it Sash first?
Sash, yeah.
He eliminates Sash. He eliminates Brad. He eliminates Franco. And then it's 1-on-1, and I was just there, just going, batter him. The booze was getting to me at this point. I tell you what, though, JC 5 years out of his own ring. He's done a bit of wrestling here and there, but he's had his fair share of physical injury as well and pain to deal with. Annoyingly, despite the crap robe and wearing his little tinfoil medals around his neck, he did look good, didn't he?
Still good, man. Still good. You know,
don't get me wrong, he did kick the shit out of me.
He'll bend you like a pretzel.
He'd stretch muscles in places I didn't know I had places, let alone muscles.
You'd be like, hang on a minute, I've got muscles there. Oh, nice.
I thought that was just fat and hair.
What's up?
But yeah, he looked good. He looked good. Did JC, everybody in this match? I think it's quite telling though, because neither of us are wrestlers. We know what we like and what we don't like when we watch it. So I'm not going to try and dissect anything too much, sort of in ring wise, because it wouldn't be fair. But this match took you on a journey. Yeah, it really did. Right. And I drunkenly tweeted Joey. Sorry, go on.
Why, Joey? What did you treat him?
I think I called him a fucking knobhead or something like that. And he came back with some bullshit justification.
He called me a pillock, so at least you got a justification.
Yeah, he probably gave me some abuse back as well. I don't know. I could see 3 phones at that point when I was trying to read it.
Just while I was thinking about it, obviously, everybody involved in this match, massive mark. I've hyped the powers that be, Franco and Brad. Love those guys, so hyped. Said it before, team in the main event. In a main event storyline, mixing up, with the top names. But I just want to shout out Jack. Mr. Bandicoot is not just his in-ring, not just the moves, just his mannerisms, his footwork. He's got that Shawn Michaels attitude of, even if I'm not in the ring, even if I'm not involved, you will still look at me. I'm still doing something. I'm getting your attention. I find myself sometimes watching what's going on there, and I'll just have a quick look. What's Jack doing? Oh, yeah, cool. Right, back to the match.
I'm a big fan of Bandicoot.
Yeah.
I love it. In fact, he started doing like the Bandy Savage and Bandy Orton stuff, hitting cutters and elbows and stuff like that. He's another one of those guys who's just pure entertainment value, and I'm pretty sure he's just made of abs.
Yeah. Abs, and that's just them things. But it's just like I say, it's the little things that you pick up on. His footwork, just the movement, it's just the silly little stuff he does in between things, just to entertain you. It just makes him stand out. It's just that little bit. It
does.
And
he's the current NGW Destiny Rumble winner. Right. NGW, obviously massive promotion in Hull, responsible for training some of Britain's best up and down the East Coast, and they put their faith in Jack as their next title challenger. I think their current champion is Miles Kamen.
Oh my God!
So they're going to do Kamen versus Bandicoot. I've been watching Bandicoot since, probably about that same time, about 17, 18. He has had some bangers with the likes of B.A. Rose. Them two, when 2 people just have chemistry.
Yeah.
Them 2 just have chemistry. Or even Jake and Jack facing each other on certain shows where they may have had fallings out and whatnot. It's they're as good against each other as they are together. I think Jack does a load of spectacular stuff, and he's really good. I love him to bits. He's brilliant, but Jake more than holds his own as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know your favourite word. I know you're not besmirching anybody else by omission. But yeah, those guys. I remember when they first came up to North as well, and blew everybody away up there. And they turned up for a tag team title match, and people were carrying him to the ring through the brewery in a dinghy. Just stuff like that's awesome.
Well, we'll mention North at the end of this because I want to shout out some exciting news that I heard from North recently as well for May time. So their name will come back up again shortly. But yeah, as it turns out, Joey Slade can't be trusted. Wax Wes with a chair. As Wes was about to pedigree JC, the tables have turned. JC pedigrees Wes, and that's it. Wes is gone. He's done.
Why, Joey? Why? Like you said, it's sort of. I cannot believe we're going to go. Well, potentially the rest of True Grit's run without Wes. I can't believe that'll happen, because if nothing else, JC knows how to make money from his audience.
There's only so many masks you can sell.
With kids crying, yeah. So if the gate starts to drop, then I think we'll.
Go back. But yeah, intermission. Obviously, everybody, after those two matches back to back, everybody needed a bit of fresh air, go get a drink.
Oh, yeah.
They'll cry. And then
there were tears.
Back for the second half. And it started, I believe, with Brady Phillips versus Vusyk.
I had to think for a second then. Yes. The first time they did this was a match of the year candidate for me.
Yep. These two guys, you said it before about chemistry, about Jack Bandicoot and B.A. Rose, Vusyk and Brady, man. I was talking to somebody after the show, and I was like, I said they make it look easy, and then I felt bad because it's like, no, they don't make it look easy because it's not easy. We know it's not easy, but they make it look smooth. They make beating the piss out of each other look effortless. Yes, and that is what they do. So my background on my laptop has been for years is a photo of Suzuki-gun, as was, and that style that Minoru Suzuki brings, with the strikes and the kicks and the hard hitting, the strong style. Vusyk just screams Vusyk, Czech strong style. Yes,
is what he is. And Brady, for all his weird, nerdy little poses, is double hard as well, and he can match that. Well, he is. No, he is.
I know he is.
I don't know why he always asks the crowd who's up, because we're all awake, we're watching you. But so, oh dear. Yeah, well, I'm not asleep. I'm actually quite enjoying this. Yeah, I could watch these two beat the shit out of each other all day. I'd love an Iron Man match.
Oh man, I've seen Vusyk. To sidebar, obviously, he is the Iron Will champion at Tidal, which means every one of his matches is 20 or 30 minutes, depending on stipulation kind of thing. So I've seen Vusyk have numerous Iron Man matches now, and the dude's a cardio machine. And I saw him go 30 minutes with Nathan Cruz. Hey, seriously. So yeah, Vusyk and Brady for 30 minutes as well. That would just be, Nathan Cruz is up here. Brady's great, but Nathan Cruz is like my second favorite ever. So I've seen Vusyk go up against him for 30 minutes, but I would love to see him go up against Brady as well for like a 30-minute match or something. That's just. But I will say, I do want Vusyk versus Riley Nova now.
I think that has to happen. It does, because we had the added element of the shark cage in this one, and it was a lot of fun. Even though it did break a little bit, one of the bars popped out at the bottom. Yeah, it's got to be Vusyk and Riley. That'll be a trial by fire for young Nova.
Yes,
but it'll be a banger of a match, and this was nothing short of match of the year quality of the standard they set in the first one. If you want to go back to the well on any match, go back to the well on this one. But it's not going to happen, at least not at the next Leeds show.
No.
Bobby Cash had an executive order in his back pocket. Young Master Bobbington.
Sorry, Bobby. Bobby, sorry. I've just got to apologise. I've always said if I'm wrong, I'll hold my hands up. I apologise. I doubted Robert Cash's sincerity, his integrity, his honour, and I apologise profusely to Bobby Cash for doubting you, sir. You did good. I was worried, that absolute power corrupts absolutely, and you were going to turn into a massive twat. I saw that you're playing golf. I just made that jump. I apologise. But no, you did good. And I signed a petition straight after this.
He wasn't there that night, but we got a little video from the current NCL Cup holder, who he won it that very night, Kemper, up at North. He's getting a rematch with Brady Phillips at the next Leeds show, and it's going to be in a steel cage. So we've had the heartbreak of. So we've had the ecstasy of Paul winning, the heartbreak of Wes leaving, the sheer annoyance at Brady shithousing his way to another win with Riley Nova, and then we get that from Bobby, that Brady's going to be in a cage with an absolute monster in Kemp, who I think we both agree is the next in line.
100%. I've been banging this drum since he turned up at the Rumble last year. But I've also been banging the drum of I didn't want him to get the belt on the foot. I was really hoping he didn't win in York, as daft as that sounds, because I know there's a story there. I know him and Brady can work something together. And yeah, you know, that ended in York, led to this show in Leeds, and then this led to a cage match. I've never seen a cage match in person as well, so I'm really hyped.
Really? I'm really hoping they've got the old blue cage. I did see one of those 3CW way back in the day in Hartlepool, so there is one knocking around, at least one knocking around in the northeast.
Well, we'll shout out.
I know that much.
We'll shout out Fight Factory because it'll probably be their cage that gets used. I would hazard a guess,
right.
Unless Mr. Drake's got one.
Unless yes, you could probably knock one up in an afternoon, could Drake?
But yeah, seen a cage match in person. But yeah, the won't draw on the match because it was great. You know, Brady doing what Brady does.
If you've seen either man wrestle, then you know how good it is. That's simply it. We can't isolate one little thing because everything was too bloody good. This was up to be honest, this was probably the standout match in terms of in-ring stuff in a banger of a show throughout. Yeah. So like I said, there wasn't a bad match, but this was the best of a great bunch.
Yes, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I think that was a good way of putting it. And then obviously, you know, like I said, with the announcement, Kemper, emotions are running high. And then, you know, who comes out to just make the emotions, just to get in people's faces, just to annoy people, as only she can. You know, we then
I've been annoying this person on Twitter to that.
Yes.
Lana Austin and Holly Barlow.
Holly's awesome. I just want to say that.
Yeah, everybody loves Holly. I still don't think I've recovered from the chop she took off Big T in the Rumble. I don't know how she's still walking. And Lana Austin, I said this on, I did a little preview thread for the show on Twitter, just because I was bored on the train over. But Lana Austin really is just one of Britain's best. And Holly's on the rise, on the way up. And I know these two have worked together, worked against each other elsewhere in the past. I love the angle that Holly wants to tag. So I went along with that. I got a series of really good photos when Lana was bending the rules, shall we say, when she had a submission on Holly, and then just let go as Lee was counting and Holly face planted. So I'm sure that was entirely unintentional of a future tag team partner, but just how annoyed that Lana gets at it all just adds to everything going on in the ring. And again, it was another great match because I'll be honest, at this point, everything's getting a bit fuzzy. I can't remember too much of the match. I just remember it being really good.
Yes, it was. Again, anybody who watched last week's hype episode, you know, I said, like you said, what's to say about Lana? You know, she's a living legend in UK wrestling, and I said Holly is probably the fastest rising female star or just star in British wrestling at the minute. You know, the mark that she's made over the last several months, it's been crazy. You know, you've seen her turning up everywhere. Yeah. And nobody's got a bad word to say. You know, everybody appreciates. She's just that good.
Yeah, she really is. And you think, Lana and Holly are locking down the women's division along with, we saw Lily Winter and Melissa Fierce at the last York show. Rio's due to come back very soon. But we've still got the likes of Lizzie Evo to come back. Zizi, whenever Zizi can come back. True Grit's building a really strong women's division. For my money, this was a number one contenders match in all but name. And I really hope Lana picked up the win over a future tag team partner, no matter what she says to the contrary.
Women's division, though, dude, I think we need to shout out like Alfie as well, who made a very good impression in the Rumble.
Alfie a lot of time for Alfie. Yeah. I've seen Alfie wrestle for LWF, Lancashire Wrestling Federation, they crossed the border into Yorkshire, and I went to have a look. Seen Alfie wrestle Planet a couple of places. A lot of time for Alfie and Dee Dee, of course, because always got Dee Dee with her. But another name I'd love to see come in on a regular basis. Lana. I really hope we get Lana challenging Rio, hopefully in York.
Yeah, I mean, we had that match a couple of months ago, didn't we? But it was that good, I wouldn't mind seeing it again.
Yeah, you can't not win with that match, basically. And, Lana's picked up another win. Holly was on a bit of a roll. Oh, make it a triple threat.
Oh.
You all right?
Dude, that'd be amazing. I don't know. I was thinking triple threat, and I was like, who could the third person be? I was thinking put Lizzie in there, or maybe,
Fatal Four-Way.
Oh, there we go. Bosh.
Because Lizzie and Rio was an absolute banger last time they did that. And that was in York as well. Bring all the biggest stars to York. And for God's sake, people, come out and see him. I want to be so busy behind that bar I can't even watch the matches.
Sidebar, I've said this numerous times now. Most of my favourite matches from last year, this show is one of my favourite shows ever. I've said. But last year, most of my favourite shows or most of my favourite matches took place in York. And the fact people don't go to the York shows blows my fucking mind. I'm legitimately puzzled by this because they've offered to put a coach on. If travel's an issue and there's enough people interested, they'll put a coach on. You might have to put up with the freaking tag team champions, but it'll be a laugh.
Yeah, it will be. And like I say, it's something JC's done before, back in the day with the Boris Bus up to North, and it is a great laugh.
Yeah,
it really is. I know James and Nikki are big advocates for it. They wanted to do it. But yeah, need to get, even if we get, I think, we probably need 15, maybe 20 people to justify a minibus. I hope it takes off. I really do.
Yeah, Jay normally drives us there. That's why she goes to the York shows. If the minibus is on, sorry, me and Jay will jump on as well. We don't need to. We'll give Jake another drink. Gosh, there you go. So, but yeah, listen up. Go to the York shows. You're freaking crazy if you don't, in my opinion. So,
and Lana, you're going to tag with Holly.
Yes.
Right, we best get to the main event.
Dude, obviously, you put it so profoundly on Twitter before the show. If you can remember what you put, I will let you say it.
There was quite a few tweets about it all, but it was something along the lines of the most beloved tag team in True Grit against two absolute machines. And that's what it is. Now, I had a good deal of personal investment in this match. I've known Ace Matthews for a very long time. We were housemates together at university. So I've literally known Ace half my life. He's mentioned before that I helped get him back into wrestling as a whole. Because it's that long ago, I used to have VHS tapes that I'd bring to uni with me and DVDs. And then he started training and got me into indie wrestling. And here I am chatting this now. I've seen him win and lose titles for years. And I'd never say this to his face because I'm honor bound to talk shit about him whenever I go. But I'm incredibly proud of him and everything he's achieved because he's a great character. I still can't believe people love him in True Grit because he's a knob everywhere else. But he's amazing, and I've become friends with Nash over the years. Got a lot of time for him. I think he's the most naturally entertaining person in British wrestling, and he is legit one of my favourite wrestlers. He'd never believe me when I tell him that. In the world. So coming into this, it was, if NashBoat don't win, well, I don't riot, I'll probably just have a bit of a strop and go home. I will tweet my displeasure. As a certain chief operating officer once said, I'll be the old man yelling at that cloud. Meat Wagon, just phenomenal, the pair of them. They really are. They're incredible together. And it's that chemistry that only comes with years of friendship. Training together, working together, knowing each other inside out. And Tom McManus, the Boise looking, Uncle Knobhead cream slip-on wearing. Oh, you just love to hate him, don't you? It's just for the shoes. If nothing else, just for the shoes. But yeah, so this was very emotional for me. Seeing my mates in the main event and gave a bloody good account of themselves. Because a lot of people misunderstand about Wing Commander Nash is that, yes, he's hysterical. His comic timing's impeccable. But when push comes to shove, he can go, and he's been around a long time. And he took a shit kicking in this match.
Yeah, he did.
I've got a few clips that'll make the rounds on social media, but just from the get-go, when he's chopping them both and chanting "beat the meat," and he just gets weaker and weaker, almost like Orange Cassidy levels. And then he builds up speed and tries to go for the double crossbody, and they both Samoa Joe the way out of the way. But what you're ignoring there, what a lot of people ignore there, is he's actually just gone to the middle rope, and he's a tall guy. He's Nash, and he's done this whole springboard thing as if it's nothing. I couldn't believe that they were going to have my heart break twice in one night.
No. But it's an old time kind of saying. I think, I remember my granddad telling me, or somebody telling me about, old comedian Les Dennis, who's famous for playing the piano badly. He'd play a song but in the wrong key, but he played it perfectly, but it made it sound like he was playing it really badly. But it was kind of like, no, you need to be so good at playing it that you can play it in the wrong key, make it sound bad, but it's still perfect. So it's like very much. I always kind of, what Nash reminds me, like you sort of said then, when he's hitting that second rope springboard, it's very easy to overlook it, but to do something that silly or to make something look that bad, you've got to be able to do it perfectly first.
Yeah.
Sense.
Yeah, it was just phenomenal. And the hot tag to Ace Matthews popping off an angle slam. The audacity.
He does it all the time. I've seen him do it every match.
I know he does. I just, it blows my mind. It really does. Not that he does it, just that he does it really well. But again, all the goofball antics and the petitions and the messing about and little protests and mucking up the raffles. And you forget just how good these lads are.
Yeah. I think somebody said to me once that Ace is Mr. Versatile. He's Mr. Utility. You could put him on a card and ask him to do one of several things, and he could do any of them well. He could be comedy guy. He can be the technical guy. He can work like a hardcore division is a non-hardcore kind of thing, like whatever he's doing up in North.
Like he's doing in North, yeah. At the next North show, he's Lou Nixon's coming for him.
God. We love you, Ace. I'm so sorry.
But so this is, oh God, I don't know if I want to commit this to audio. He's Yorkshire's Miz. And I mean that with the greatest respect and as the biggest compliment.
Yeah,
because that guy can work anywhere up on the anywhere up and down the card. He fits into every role you could give him, and I've seen Ace do that.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I've seen him, like, say, main event. Obviously, I mentioned Title a few times. I'm always there. We're closely associated with them. You say that he's loved at True Grit, mate. You want to see him at Tidal. He's the Tidal chief. The whole the parish erupts for Ace. You can't say a bad word. I've been lynched nearly a few times because I've even dare question, Ace. I'm like, whoa, sorry, mate, sorry. I acknowledge his word.
I do need to get to Tidal. It's just a promotion that's never quite synced up over the years. I've been to one Tidal show, and it was back when they used to run Temple of Boom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It was Rampage Brown versus Dave Graves in the main event for the title. But anyway, we're getting off topic.
Just as a quick sidebar, just to hype up the next show, 23rd of March, it is Wing Commander Nash versus Chase Martini with Ace Matthews on a pole, whereas the winner claiming, because obviously in Tidal, Ace and Chase the Ace were a tag team, so Martini and Ace Matthews. Wing Commander Nash turned up in December as special referee, cost Chase the titles, maybe, possibly, I don't know. Now we've got Ace on a pole with. I don't know. I can't even presume how that's gonna. I've just got Millhouse on a flagpole images.
I'd have to consult my uni days, but I'm pretty sure I've seen Ace Matthews on a pole before. Might have been in a nightclub at about 4 a.m.
Nice, mate. I'll give you an example of how a non-wrestling brain works compared to a wrestling brain. So I can say to you, right, Ace on a pole, you know what I'm talking about. You've got pole matches in your head. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I mentioned this to Jay, and I was like, at Tidal, they're having like Wing Commander Nash versus Chase Martini. Ace is on a pole. She just looked at me. She's like, he's going to be pole dancing. I'm like, no, it's not on a pole.
I bet you could market that to actually make some money.
It's like,
He's got the moves. He's got the athleticism. I did forget. I was just quickly scrolling through some clips. When Ace did the angle slam and he went for the pin, and he moved out of the way. I can't remember if it was Meat or Wagon. Went for the splash off the second rope. Stuff like that always makes me laugh.
It's just the business of it, isn't it? But yeah, sorry. Back to the match. Like I said, it's just back and forth. Love Meat Wagon. They hit that. I don't even know if it's got a name. Sorry, but that shoulder where Troy picks up Anderson and just drop. Did it 3 times, and you're just like, oh my, just finish him off.
Pancaking him,
yeah. To put him out of his misery, dude. I'm telling you, that if Troy had hit a Meteora, they would still be tag team champions.
And I'd be annoyed because I'd have named a move that did my mates.
Yeah, I
don't think he was thrilled at the idea of doing that though with his knees.
No, he wasn't. I did say it to him. It's like, oh yeah. My history of knees. Like, yeah, sorry, mate. Okay, well, maybe it was.
But again, with this match, there was so much emotion. You could feel the energy in the room. Everybody was just waiting for the 3 count and waiting to see which way it went, and just begging it was NashBoat.
But when it came,
so this is what I mean. Watching it back on Triller, you can see the emotion in both Ace and Nash, but the pop, because they've got to level things out for commentary and whatever. The pop, it's not the same as live.
Yeah.
We nearly blew the roof off that place. It was the loudest pop I've heard in Left Bank, and that's saying something because we've had some immense nights in Left Bank. But for NashBoat to finally get that win after must be year and a half.
No. Jacob, I want to say Jacob's Ladder 23, I think, was that when they kind of formed or when they were doing the petitions? I vaguely remember Ace being started. I'm sure it's 23 when they're signing petitions.
Yeah, so we won't be far off year and a half because that would have been November 23. So, yeah, close to a year and a half of trying and building themselves up and, getting the little opportunities here and there and mucking about. They finally do it. And I lost it. I lost my tiny mind. I was Ric Flairing it with a tear in my eye. Stewart started throwing ducks from the merch stand. And, Ace was loving it. And Nash was just overcome, bless him, I think. That was real. I think they called it on commentary. That was real emotion from Nash. His wife and his daughter were there. And it was just beautiful. It was really awesome to see. And just so very happy. And I can't wait now to see who the first challengers are.
Lana and Holly.
Do you know what? That would be an amazing match. What them for in the ring? Oh, come on, that'll be good.
But what if Nash turns heel?
He won't.
Can you imagine though? I'm just putting that out.
No, purely because it'll be Ace.
Ah, dude. See, everybody expects that, but can you imagine a Nash suited and booted like an 08 Jericho, where he's talking very monotone, very seriously, mate?
He won't be able to keep it. He won't be able to keep it up.
Yeah, well, Viagra.
Tish.
But, I don't know, but no, obviously I don't want that to happen. I want NashBoat to have a nice little run with the belts. I don't want it to be like, oh, they've won it this show and lose it at the next show. Like, fuck's sake. I think now they've kind of turned that corner. They can build on them, as a credible tag team. I want to see them have a few victories at least.
Yeah, I love the fact as well that Nash was the one that got the pin.
Yes.
Ace hit a Canadian Destroyer. Anderson Daniels bit his tongue. He put it on Twitter yesterday morning. He legit bit his tongue on that move, and it was like he couldn't drink his morning coffee. So he was less bothered about losing the belts than he was about that. And then Nash chocks away off the second rope. 1, 2, 3, big pop, everybody crying. I think I drunkenly carried Ace around on my shoulders.
Yes.
Which I've been paying for 2 days. My back's ruined.
Yeah, I put it on. I put it on socials. This was wrestling done right. Yeah. This was, a story's been told. The fans have got so behind them, so invested. Like you said, mate, I've never seen a reaction like that at Left Bank. Literally, I caught it on video. Literally, there's people stood in front of me that were sat down, and as soon as that 1, 2, 3, they jumped out of their seats. They were hugging each other. Yeah, it was like, I was like, this shit's awesome.
I know Sam Rogers, I think it was. It was either Sam or Chris. I was hugging somebody.
That's the reaction, and that is the thing. Is though, we watch this stuff knowing what we know, but we still get so emotionally involved. We still not believe it, but we care. It matters. We are emotionally invested in what happens, and it still invokes this reaction in us if it's done right.
It's still real to us, damn it.
Yes. Fuck Morecambe. No. I love you, Morecambe. Oh.
We would be remiss with if we didn't mention as well Tom McManus. Mentioned it before, and I put this out on the socials as well. I've loved to boo him. It's been a pleasure. It really has. He's another one who straddles that line of being just annoying enough you want to see him get his ass kicked, but not annoying enough that you want him to go away. And he handed the belts over to NashBoat, left his cream slip-ons in the ring, and announced yesterday that was his last night in wrestling. And it's wrestling's loss.
Yeah.
Because there's not many managers out there, and there's even fewer really good managers. So
And
it's a shame. I know you can never say never in wrestling. If he decides to come back at some point, fantastic. If he's happy just going off and living his life, more power to him. But thank you, Mr. McManus.
yes, I second that as well. Dude, it's just I'm again, I'm old school fan like you. I love managers. There's not enough of them for me. I love the old school Bobby Heenans. The guys like that standing at ringside. So yeah,
bonking. Was it he bonked Troy in the head with a shoe, or was it Anderson?
No, it was Troy because obviously Nash. Then he stood in front of Anderson.
Yeah, and went, give it all that. Yeah, but it was the stiff. It was the stiff straight back, just dunk. Again,
Meat Wagon Man. They're big boys, but they can sell. They can make their opponents look awesome as well, kind of thing. All four of these guys are very giving, and they're just everybody. Again, it was just that perfect moment of everybody working together.
You said it right together. You said it right earlier, and this whole show, everything came together perfectly. Stories culminating at the right time, in the right way, with the right people. And that is so hard to do for one match, for one big match, let alone 3 or 4.
But
all 7 matches were good. Everything had its place on this card. Everything gave a little something different. But like I said, just in particular, the 3 big emotional matches and the title match. Just wonderful. So the men's title match, but the Pride title match was great. Everything. Like I said, I'm going to be sick to the back teeth of me saying it, but every match on this card delivered, and that is often the way in True Grit. I couldn't name one match off the top of my head that didn't in the last however long.
I've got 1 or 2, but I don't talk. I'm
caught in the positivity.
Yes, exactly. I love it when there isn't. If there's. Because again, me, I don't neg on stuff. If I don't like something, I just won't talk about it. I'm not going to dismiss
exactly.
If it's bad, I just want to talk about it. But it makes it very hard to do a review show of a show if I leave one match out, because that automatically then screams, Nick didn't like that match. So fuck, I can't review the whole show. I can't review the show. I'm like, no, mate, I've got to step away. I can't do it. So thankfully, 9 times out of 10, I know I'm going to be able to review a True Grit show because every match delivers something. So, but yeah, as a whole, this was an amazing show to put out on Triller. If people have never seen True Grit before, at the end of this, mate, if they weren't caught up in it, then I don't know, man. They just ain't got pulse or they're soulless. I think this will have had amazing impact on people outside of Yorkshire who will now watch True Grit on a regular basis because they've witnessed what we witnessed.
It's hoping, yeah. That's. Is it too much to ask? Really? Like I said, I know a few people have checked out for the first time. We just now the challenge for True Grit is to bring that to York, to bring the energy, and the crowd at York. It might not be as big as the crowd at Left Bank, but we bring the noise. It's always loud. It's always fun. And like you said, Nick, to be quite honest, they always deliver some of the best matches that you'll see in the year at York True Grit shows. So fingers crossed people come along and sell us out a beer.
Yeah. What do they do in York then for Brady? Does Brady have a match in April in York?
I don't think so. And I think the reason why is because the main event spot is going to go to Rio.
She's back in York, isn't she? Obviously, yes.
Yeah.
They've announced back in York, hasn't she? Haven't they? So I forgot about
that. That might have just been on the newsletter, but get yourself signed up.
Yeah. It was on the email. She's back in York in April. So yes, my bad. So
which is going to be mental because I'm going to see Rio defend the True Grit title in my old school hall, as I keep saying. Don't let that put you off. It's a lovely venue. There's room for about 200. And then the week after, she's challenging for the Progress Women's title in Vegas.
Awesome wrestling, mate. It's fucking awesome.
I'm not going to be there for that and all.
Dude, right, I'm going to wrap this up though because we have just. I know this is going to happen, man. We just get too excited. We just talk. What's not to talk about? I don't want to make this a two-part. I've done too many two-parters thanks to Bobby Cash and Royally Rumbled. So I'm just going to talk briefly while Daniel's in the middle of doing something. So yeah, if you haven't guessed yet, obviously watch this show on Triller. Make sure you go watch True Grit live though in person if you can get to a show. Triller's great, it's a great exposure, but it's not a patch on seeing it live. You need to be there, whether it's at Left Bank, whether it's in York. You need to experience the crowd. We're fucking awesome, True Grit's awesome. As fans, we're awesome. Come join us, feel the energy, get behind the excitement, and Daniel, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that. Just want to say thanks for having me on, mate. Making my Work the Left Side debut. Always happy to talk some True Grit, even if I can't remember some of the show. But yeah, had a blast, mate. And I'm sorry for making you overrun.
No, mate. Don't apologise. It's fine. My apologise, mate. It's taking this long. I just don't know why. I just never thought. I just thought Dan would want to talk to me about this thing. But yeah, when you said it, I was like, fuck yeah. Literally, you mentioned it like 2 days ago. So I'm like, right, you're on the show. Come on. As soon as you just, that's it, you're on. But yeah, let people know where they can follow you on the socials.
Yeah, I'll do the quick wrap up. So at Dan Griffin21 on Twitter. At the minute, just mostly tweeting about True Grit. So come along for that. If you want to hear more of me talking about stuff, search for Unbooking the Territory on all good podcast providers and some shit ones. That's all the wrestling content I do with UTT Rob. There's everything from Attitude Era to the first and last of wrestling, all the side projects we do. We did a series on Tank Abbott and his career in WCW, so we go into a lot of the fun side of wrestling. And I'm over on SJP World Media with the Doctor Who pod with Cy Powell, and doing the football commentary on the volley with my strike partner, the magnificent Matt Lewis. And just a side note, just listen to everything on SJP World Media. Go check it all out. Just across pop culture and sports and all sorts. Go give it a look.
Awesome. Will do. Obviously, yeah, please go show Dan some love. He is one of my favourite human beings. So anything you can do to help support him, that would be
far
amazing.
Too kind.
Mate. Just telling the truth, dude. You know what I mean? But yeah, obviously you know where to find us. If you don't, we are on Twitter at WTLS420, and we are on Instagram. You can hit my boy up Ash at WTLS316. We've got a link tree on the Instagram. I think we've got it on the Twitter as well. Just click on the link tree thing and see where you can find us everywhere. TikTok, Insta, freaking YouTube, everything like that. So
MySpace, Bebo.
Dude, MySpace. I miss MySpace. I like clicking on somebody's page and just listening to the music and be like, no, mate, you're a twat. I don't want to be your friend. But yeah, obviously, click like, share, comment, do all the generic stuff I ask you to do. Thank you for watching. Obviously, join us later on in the week when we discuss maybe the greatest Royal Rumble ever with DJ King, Bobby Cash, and my boy Ryan Palmer. We are talking about the 1992 Royal Rumble. So join us for that. Just before we go, though, I do just want to acknowledge some gnarliness that happened yesterday. Again, you know us, we're associated with True Grit, Tidal, and obviously Blackheart Wrestling over at Guiseley. Yesterday, it was Gung Ho Muttley versus Sean Only for the Blackheart title. Everybody was like, yes, it's Gung Ho's time. Sean was being Sean. You know what Sean's like in True Grit. Exactly the same. He's just a gnarly, mean, miserable son of a gun. He was beating on Ho. Sammy comes out. Sammy and Gung Ho, man, best buds. It's like Chip and Dale, the Rescue Rangers. They're like fucking, I don't know.
That's a reference to pull out.
Things that come together so well, they just go together. Sammy and Gung Ho. But no, Sammy's then whacks Gung Ho with a lacrosse stick, and he's become one of the only boys. Sammy Blue has turned his back on Gung Ho Muttley and joined Billy O'Keefe, J. Rue Lewis, and Sean Only, and left Gung Ho lying. And I personally want to know why. So I'm throwing this out to Sammy Blue. If you want to answer this question, if you want to justify what you did, dude, you know where I am. Hit me up, and yeah, let's talk. Because, mate, that not cool at all. So, but yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there for Sammy to respond. So, apologies you had to listen to that rant, Dan.
No, it's all right. It was a bad night for people turning on people, wasn't it? A bad night and day with the Saturday night and then into Sunday.
Oh, I thought Joey, broke my heart, and then Sammy just goes and breaks it again. You know, it's just wrestling.
It's mad how John Cena saw what Joey Slade did what he did, and then Sammy saw what John Cena did, taking after Joey.
It's a domino effect, isn't it?
Domino effect of twattery.
Yes. Oh, can we say twatty nose? No, that don't really work, does it? Twatty nose, dominats? No. Yeah.
Dominoes.
A domino of twattery. That was. Dude, thank you so much. And yes, obviously, as I said, join us again very, very soon. Goodbye.